greatest lie ever sold is that insecurity is natural, that it's human, that you're supposed to carry this weight forever. Let me tell you the truth. Insecurity is not your nature, it's your cage. And cages are meant to be broken. 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli wrote the rulebook on power while imprisoned in a cage of his own. His crime? Being too dangerous to the weak. What's your crime? Allowing your mind to remain a prisoner when you hold the key. Listen carefully, because what follows is not inspiration, it's execution. Your insecurities have held a knife to your throat for years, whispering that you're not good enough, not strong enough, not worthy enough. Today, we turn that blade around. Machiavelli didn't conquer Florence with positive affirmations. He conquered with strategy so ruthless, so precise, that his enemies destroyed themselves. That's exactly how we'll handle your insecurities, not by healing them, but by annihilating them. The first death blow comes from understanding this. Your insecurities aren't accidents. They're carefully planted landmines. Society needs you insecure because insecure men are controllable men. When you doubt your worth, you'll accept less money. When you fear rejection, you'll tolerate bad relationships. When you question your abilities, you'll remain a replaceable cog. This isn't psychology. This is warfare. And right now, you're losing. Machiavelli's most dangerous lesson was this. It is better to be feared than loved. Apply this to your mind. Your insecurities love you. They comfort you. They give you excuses to stay small. It's time to make them fear you. When an insecurity whispers, you'll fail, you must respond with such violent action that the thought itself learns to tremble. The moment you fear public speaking, sign up to give a speech. The instant you doubt your intelligence, attack a complex subject. Make your weaknesses regret ever speaking up. Here's how we begin the purge. Tonight, you will take paper and pen, no digital notes. This requires ceremony. And you will list every insecurity as if writing a death warrant. Then you will study each one like a general studying an enemy fortress. Where are its weak points? When does it attack? Who benefits from its existence? Most importantly, how has it tricked you into believing it's real? This is not self-reflection. This is reconnaissance for a kill mission. The final truth you must swallow is this. Confidence is not something you find. It's something you take. Machiavelli didn't wait for permission to reshape Italy. He acted first and let history catch up. Your mind operates the same way. The more you wait to feel ready, the more power you surrender. The secret isn't believing in yourself. It's acting as if you already do, until the belief has no choice but to materialize. Every great ruler in history understood this. They wore the mask of power until their face grew to fit it. This is why weak men read self-help, while strong men study strategy. Your insecurities aren't a therapy session. They're an occupying force. And starting today, you are the resistance. For centuries, alchemists chased the impossible, the transformation of lead into gold. What they failed to realize is that the true transmutation wasn't in their flasks and furnaces, but in the human mind. You are sitting on a stockpile of psychological lead, your insecurities, your doubts, your fears, unaware that with the right process, these base metals can be forged into weapons of unimaginable power. Machiavelli didn't just defeat his enemies. He studied them, absorbed their strengths, and turned their own tactics against them. This is precisely what we will do with your deepest insecurities. Consider this paradox. Every weakness contains the blueprint for its corresponding strength. Your social anxiety isn't a defect. It's an overdeveloped radar for reading subtle social cues. Your perfectionism isn't a curse. It's a relentless drive for excellence waiting to be channeled. Your fear of failure isn't cowardice. It's an early warning system more sophisticated than any intelligence network. The Roman general who worried about ambush developed better scouts. The Renaissance merchant who feared bankruptcy created better accounting systems. Your insecurities are not chains. They are unpolished strategic advantages. Machiavelli's most devastating tactic was never brute force, but strategic conversion. When the Borgias took over a city, they didn't massacre the population. They assimilated the useful elements and eliminated only the irredeemable threats. Apply this ruthlessly to your psyche. That voice telling you you're not good enough. It's either going to become your most valuable advisor, or it's going to be silenced forever. There is no middle ground in the game of power. The transformation begins with what I call the trial by utility. Take your greatest insecurity and force it to prove its worth. If you're afraid of public speaking, don't avoid the podium. Use that fear to fuel such intense preparation that your nervous energy becomes magnetic stage presence. If you doubt your intelligence, leverage that doubt to dig deeper, research more thoroughly, and outthink complacent competitors. This isn't positive thinking. This is psychological judo, using your opponent's weight against them. History's most formidable figures weren't those without fears, but those who made their fears work for them. Churchill battled depression, but turned it into profound insight about human nature. Beethoven's deafness didn't destroy his music. It forced him to compose with revolutionary complexity. Your limitations are not roadblocks. They are the very contours that will give your strength its unique shape. The Japanese art of kintsugi doesn't hide broken pottery. It highlights the cracks with gold, making the repaired piece more valuable than the original. Now we arrive at the crucial distinction between ordinary men and princes of power. The average man tries to eliminate his shadows. The strategic mind learns to fight in the dark. Your insecurities have given you something priceless: intimate knowledge of your own vulnerabilities. In warfare, this is called defensive intelligence. In statecraft, it's called strategic depth. In your life, it's called an unfair advantage. That knot in your stomach before taking a risk. That's not weakness. That's your inner strategist calculating odds. The discomfort you feel outside your comfort zone. That's not something to avoid. That's the exact terrain where you must learn to operate with maximum effectiveness. Machiavelli wrote that fortune controls half our actions, but leaves the other half to us. Your insecurities are the same. They only have the power you surrender to them. The moment you stop seeing them as enemies and start treating them as potential assets, the balance of power shifts irrevocably in your favor. This isn't about making peace with your weaknesses. It's about conscripting them into your personal army. The path forward is clear. Every time an insecurity rears its head, you will demand it either prove its usefulness or be permanently dismissed from your mental court. Within weeks, you'll find your former weaknesses either transformed into unexpected strengths or eradicated through strategic irrelevance. This is how true power is built. Not by following pre-packaged self-help formulas, but by conducting ruthless, personalized psychological statecraft. The final stage of your transformation requires neither meditation nor motivation. only cold, calculated construction. You are about to build what kings and conquerors throughout history have sacrificed everything to possess, an impregnable fortress of the mind. Machiavelli observed that the strongest citadels were not those with the highest walls, but those designed so that even if breached, inner strongholds remained unconquerable. This is the architectural principle we apply to your psyche. Layered defenses that make doubt irrelevant and insecurity obsolete. Begin with the foundation, your personal doctrine. Every great civilization operated on core principles, so unshakable that external chaos could not undermine them. Rome had its laws, Sparta had its discipline. You will have your code. Write 3 non-negotiable truths about who you are and what you represent, not aspirations but current realities. I am a man who converts fear into fuel, not I want to be brave. These are not affirmations, but operational parameters, the psychological equivalent of a constitution. When storms come, and they will, these become the load-bearing walls of your identity. The second layer consists of strategic redundancy. Borgia always kept multiple escape routes. The Medici maintained alternate revenue streams. Your mental fortress requires the same. Multiple sources of self-worth, so that no single failure can collapse your entire structure. Develop competence in 3 unrelated domains. Cultivate diverse social circles. Build skills that feed both your bank account and your soul. When one pillar shakes, the others bear the weight automatically. Most men crumble because they stake their entire identity on a single aspect of existence: career, relationships, public image. You will make yourself geometrically unconquerable. Now we install the murder holes, psychological countermeasures designed to destroy invading doubts before they penetrate deeper. These are your reflexive responses to weakness. When comparison creeps in, you immediately audit your unique advantages. When failure strikes, you within minutes document the extracted lessons. When anxiety whispers, you physically assume the posture of absolute confidence until biochemistry overrides thought. Machiavelli emphasized that defenses must act before the enemy settles in. Your mental counterstrikes must be equally instantaneous. The keep, your innermost stronghold, contains what ancient strategists called the last line of defense. For you, this is a single question so powerful, it vaporizes 99% of insecurities on contact. Does this thought increase my power? Not, is it true? Not, is it pleasant? Only, does it make you stronger? You'll find most insecurities dissolve under this ruthless pragmatism. The few that remain, those become your training grounds. Machiavelli's Florence withstood sieges because its defenders knew every stone of their fortress intimately. You will achieve similar familiarity with your mental architecture through what Roman legions called the daily fortification. Each morning, you will spend precisely 7 minutes reinforcing your defenses, reviewing your code, rehearsing counterstrikes, visualizing your layered resilience. Not an hour of meditation, not pages of journaling. 7 minutes of strategic maintenance, the cognitive equivalent of sharpening your sword at dawn. The final element transforms your entire being into what Byzantine generals called a moving fortress. Most defenses are static. You're building adaptability itself into your core. When circumstances shift, you don't crumble. You simply reveal new defensive layers. In professional settings, your competence forms the outer walls, while your financial reserves constitute the inner keep. In personal relationships, your boundaries serve as the gatehouse, while your self-sufficiency acts as the impregnable tower. This is dynamic defense, not a single structure, but an endlessly reconfigurable system of psychological resilience. History remembers only those who could not be broken, not the richest, not the most talented, the unconquerable. Your insecurities have until now been the cracks in your foundation. Today, you begin the reconstruction, not as a fragile monument to perfection, but as a brutal, functional fortress where every perceived weakness has either been eliminated or repurposed as a defensive feature. The world breaks ordinary men. Strategic fortresses? They break sieges. This completes your Machiavellian reconstruction. You now possess the complete trilogy: the execution of false weaknesses, the weaponization of remaining vulnerabilities, and now the unshakable defenses that make future assaults irrelevant. The only question remaining is whether you will use this knowledge, or let it gather dust like the unread manuscripts in Florence's forgotten libraries. The choice, as always, is yours alone.